Everyone hear me okay? Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you guys for being here today. Really appreciate that. And thank you. One more hand for Martina and Myriad team. So we just want to briefly talk about, since obviously healthcare audience, right? We want to talk a little bit about where we're seeing the focus in the healthcare industry amongst our clients, and just kind of take 5 minutes to run through that, and then obviously give it forward to Jenny and Kayla to share what they have to say. So we're going to run through this pretty quickly, but I just wanted to do a quick overview for those folks here who have not heard of Lucid before. Just a 30-second overview, right? So we're a visual collaboration platform, and so this infinity loop is meant to represent a project workflow. So the whole idea is that no matter what stage, whether you're at the beginning of planning, ideating, designing, or whether you're at the end of kind of building, launching, and monitoring a product, you have a visual collaboration tool to suit that need, right? So across the bottom, we have Lucid Spark, which is our whiteboarding tool to help get together, plan, ideate. Lucid Chart, which is a diagramming tool. So helping with kind of intelligent, complex diagramming to put thought processes together. And then finally, we also have Lucid Scale, which is our automated cloud visualization tool. So that allows people to essentially automatically visualize their cloud infrastructure. So that's what Lucid is. And now we're going to get into really quickly just some of the focuses we see amongst our healthcare clients. So the first is data governance. I'm probably going to be preaching to the choir on a lot of this stuff, right? But what we're hearing from our healthcare clients is that there's a lot of it, right? It's sensitive, and there's a lot of regulatory and compliance standards that come along with it. So when they come to us, they're talking about creating a standard process for how they govern that data, right? So putting together process flows, setting them inside a repository or a documentation location, and then having the ability to have stakeholders come in and view that, monitor it, and make sure everything is up to the standard. So that's one area. The second area is going to be around a digital presence. So over the last 5-10 years, obviously, there's been a focus on boosting the efficiency of a mobile app or portal amongst healthcare companies serving their clients. So we've seen that kind of shift into a need of spinning up a PMO, hiring technical staff, hiring product, right? And so a lot of that comes into play when you're talking about bringing in product and technical staff to have a place to get together, plan, ideate, build different products, right? And iterate on that faster. And that's where Lucid comes in to kind of bring a centralized canvas to do that for all those teams. Now, the final area I want to touch on is research and development. So another big area of focus, and what we're hearing is mainly healthcare clients of ours are trying to focus on improving efficiency, reducing waste, and improving the time to market for their iterative products, right? And so essentially what they're coming to us trying to do is saying, hey, how do we build a standard process around that and document that? So they're taking Lucid, saying, hey, how do we document this process and make it a standard for research and development, and then pushing that out to the rest of their company inside their documentation repositories. And then finally, I just wanted to finish with a short customer story. So this was the largest healthcare provider in the world. They came to us with a challenge of having siloed teams. So their software development team was pretty siloed from their other hybrid teams around the country. And so they were in the process of handling that while also trying to switch to Agile, which is never easy. And they were also looking for a quicker way to iterate on their virtual healthcare solutions. So they came to us with those issues, and then we provided them with the visual collaboration platform of Lucid. And so they had a central location to do all those ceremonies, retrospectives, sprints, ideating, and gather feedback from external consultants, bringing those folks in, saying, hey, we need to improve that process, and being able to kind of comment and share and collaborate there. And the other piece was having a single source of truth for these projects and having a centralized location for all these people to collaborate. And so the kind of end state of that was essentially a well-oiled machine that was able to iterate on those virtual healthcare solutions a lot faster and get those products to market a lot quicker and centralize that documentation and align across those teams. But that's all for me today. We're going to have our VP of Engineering, John Harrison, come up and talk a little bit about AI.
Yes, that's what I was wondering.
I was kind of looking for that too. Okay.
So my name is John Harrison. I'm a VP of engineering here at Lucid. I work with our Canvas app teams and also our MLAI teams, getting features to users. And so when we talk about AI and visual collaboration, we think those are kind of two great things that go great together. And we'll go through some quick examples of generative visual collaboration. So I've got some content already. Can you give me more content? Or I don't know what I want to build. Can I give you a prompt and get some content? Interrogative visual collaboration. So I've got a set of diagrams. Can I ask an AI questions that can be answered from those diagrams? Can I say, oh, like, where am I spending the most on AWS? And it will say, oh, you're spending it on, you know, in this security group or whatever. Assisted visual collaboration. You've got a diagram and you can type at a virtual assistant and have it extend or add to that diagram. And then inferential visual collaboration. Ask a question that can be inferred. So we're making some leaps here. And can we go to the next slide? So stuff we've got already, just really simple generative stuff, but it's actually quite powerful. If you go into Lucid Chart and you agree after clicking on the little blobby brain thing, and when we'll talk about the hesitations people have about agreeing to the terms of service in a second, you can quickly get into our brainstorming, summarization, and idea extension features. I encourage you guys to try those out. They're excellent and actually surprisingly good at enhancing the activities that we do and in summarizing boards. We use it all the time internally. Next slide. And then we've got a bunch of really cool stuff underway. We have a ChatGPT plugin that's been released, and we're doing additional work on that. So you can go into ChatGPT and say, hey, I'd like a Lucid Chart diagram. And we had an example yesterday. Somebody in company update said, hey, you know, we had a big presentation on Tag Heuer as a customer. And I'm like, oh, a diagram explaining how a fine mechanical watch works would actually be really interesting. And somebody went into the Lucid ChatGPT plugin and said, make a diagram of how a mechanical watch works. And it wasn't to the level of detail that you would expect from like Tag Heuer, but it, you know, had about 20 different boxes on explaining it at a high level how a mechanical watch works, which was pretty interesting. And we can then bring that diagram into Lucid Chart and extend it there. Another thing that's interesting about the chat process that people go through is chat is a linear system necessarily, but the way that we're exploring things with these AIs isn't necessarily linear. It's kind of branching where you're like, oh, that, like if I'm doing prompt engineering, I might want to iterate on something or try multiple different prompts after giving a model some initial context. And so we've built these ways of chatting, you know, in 3 dimensions or 2 dimensions at least, and also of doing the prompt engineering on a canvas. And so you can explore different options, and as you create a system, you know, you can iterate there in 2 dimensions rather than just having that linear conversation. But let's go to what I believe is the final slide. We're seeing this mixture of excitement and fear from customers. Customers are really excited about the power that generative AI can bring to their workflows, and they're also have what I think is a rational fear, given the way that these systems came about and basically going out to the internet and taking everyone's content, copyrighted or not, and using it to generate these LLMs. Large institutions are very concerned that anything that they submit is going to get hoovered up and used to build, you know, the next generation of an LLM. And everyone's nightmare scenario is you type in the secret formula to Coke is, and it just spills it out. And so being able to reassure people and say, hey, there are guardrails around this. This is exactly how your data is going to be used, and giving them confidence is really important. And we're actually seeing a lot of customers saying, hey, I don't even want you to point at an external LLM. We've got our own hosted one. Please point all of our queries back to ourselves, which is an interesting model. And I think that as time goes on, we're gonna see more and more, you know, tuned models that individual customers want us to utilize that will make our products more powerful for them in their use cases. Anyhow, that's what I've got. Please, you know, feel free, I'll be around to ask questions afterwards. And, you know, welcome to Lucid. We're really happy to have you guys here.